Hello and welcome to Tailored Talent. My name is Eric Walczykowski, CEO of Bespoke Partners and host of Tailored Talent. Today I'm joined with Bruno Kern, our AI Executive Index evangelist. Bruno, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Eric. Happy to be here.
Bruno, talk to me a little bit about your journey in executive search. You've been doing this for a little while now, huh?
Yeah. It's been 7+ years at this point, and it looked very different when I first started in a research role, and as it developed, there were definitely technology solutions that we were adding to our stack, to our tech stack, and just a lot of progress made in that direction in the research department specifically, because Bespoke has always put such a heavy emphasis on research. I definitely felt because I do come from executive search previously, I felt a significant difference. So from the moment that I joined, and then I progressed through the organization. I eventually led a team of 9 research analysts, and then was very excited with the opportunity last year when I was able to start being dedicated or working specifically on the executive index.
For sure. So it's fair to say, right? I mean, you started your career as a get your hands dirty research analyst. Is that right?
That's right. It was very, very manual, very time consuming in a lot of different respects.
Talk to me about the good old days of very manual, very time consuming. Bruno Kern, early days, not big evangelist now, but just rank and file researcher. What were you going through to help searches solve their membership challenges?
Yeah. So it started with we always had to figure out a companies list or just a source environment for where we're going to find our top talent. Obviously, the best executive search firms, which Bespoke is a part of, definitely wants to make sure we always have the most up-to-date market mapping. So we would go out there, look out into the market and look at the relevant companies that would fit our client or fit our client's company, and we would try to mirror that story or what the client was looking for in those companies that we were searching for. We would build a massive companies list. So this list grew from tens to hundreds of companies, and those companies started as direct competitors. Then it developed into adjacencies, so adjacent software subcategories, and then we ended with we had to address the broader market, whether there were private equity all-stars that we were keeping track of. We always had to stay on top of M&A acquisitions, and that was briefly all of the manual labor that went into it.
Yeah. So we get a scorecard. We develop a list of lookalike companies that might be good hunting grounds, and then we go out to the web per se. I mean, we use a number of tools, but largely the web, and we found executives developing manually from the bottoms up a list of 100 to 150 executives. And I think it's fair to say, because there was no definitive source of companies or executives, even us, where we scoured the earth, you were still going to miss executives that potentially could have been part of this membership. Is that right?
Exactly right. So each time we as researchers, had to be extremely careful as we ended at the end of the universe, so to speak, for companies and executives. We were always looking out for that, for those unicorns, right? For those unicorns in the market that we were looking for those top executives, and it was very difficult to prove that we've truly exhausted the market.
For sure. And then I think if I remember correctly, when you and I started working together in 2021, I think the Bespoke Partners database or universe of executives was 10 or 11,000. I think I'm remembering that correct, right?
Yes. It was in the low 5 figures, and it definitely grew exponentially over the years.
Well, it was kind of crazy too, because here I come from, not from executive search. I've got this crazy idea that maybe we should just map the whole market from the top down. What was the receptivity early days in the research group? Good idea, bad idea? This isn't going to work. Leave us alone. Just keep doing things the way we've been doing them.
No, it definitely is a great idea, and I think we've been able to, without getting ahead of anything, we've been able to make significant progress. But for a research team, right? At that point, maybe we had a 10-person research team, maybe less. That has grown over the years. But at a certain point, it looked like an unclimbable mountain.
A panacea per se, something that we weren't going to be able to accomplish.
That's right.
And so, look, I mean, Kirk went out and did a phenomenal job of taking the consumption function, or this scouring the world for these executives. And I think he took our executive network from 10 or 11,000 to, I think we're up over 676,000 today. Now, that wasn't without its challenges, because even with 676,000 executives, you still got to make sure that when you put in the scorecard, the right executives show up. And I think I remember, I'm getting older, Bruno, I may forget some of these things, but I think if I remember correctly, when you got involved, our accuracy in the index was probably around 50%, meaning if we had 100 people that the index returned for a particular scorecard, only 50 of those were right. And so you and I started some discussions about, taking over this role as the evangelist. Talk to me a little bit about that. Those days wasn't easy, but I think we've gotten to 92% now. Talk to me about that journey.
Right. No, it was, I think, starting with 50% compared to the tools that are out there. LinkedIn, as an example, definitely was a big jump in terms of the move into the right direction. But what we've been able to achieve over the last year, and then years before that, building up to it, is really just continue to fine tune the index, continue to build in functionality where we're able to make it think like a researcher, make it just more dialed in, because as you said, 670,000 plus executives, software executives, is a big number. However, we really, to solve a search, we're looking for one, and in terms of a membership, we're looking for hundreds potentially, but we're really looking for a small number of executives. So we had to do a lot of fine tuning in terms of making it think like a researcher, getting feedback from the entire organization, from recruiters, and we're able to make incredible progress. And now the speed at which we're able to deliver high quality results is really amazing. I mean, going from 50 to 90+% in terms of hit rate, that 90+% of the executives that get pulled by the index match the scorecard criteria that we've inputted, is really incredible.
Talk to me a little bit about the researcher's journey and the transformation in that work, because when you started, it was very manual, and you would go consume data or go find data to bring back. Now you're using, the research analysts are using more analytical skills and creativity and really assessing the executives that the index returns versus finding them. Wouldn't you agree?
Exactly right. So the research role as such has become a lot more strategic. A lot of the manual aspects of the role have gone away, but we're really working with high quality executives from the get-go. We do not have to filter through the noise. We're just laser focused on our target universe, and that makes it a lot easier, because when we're talking about clicking on profiles or looking at a candidate's background, even if we go beyond the initial results, we can already see, based on the companies, based on the scale, and then based on the company based on the person's background and the companies they were a part of, that we're very close to the bullseye. And so when we're talking about from a search perspective, we were, as research, we were sort of running behind the recruiter and trying to catch up at the beginning of a search, because our role was to map the market as fast as possible, ideally in a week's time, to calibrate with the client and to identify the winning candidate or the placed candidate as soon as we could. And that process for research has become a lot more efficient, a lot faster, and a lot less stressful, because we're able to get to the answer, we're able to calibrate with the client a lot faster, and without the added stress of digesting, as you said, all of that data, all of that the web had to offer, and all of our tools.
So it's fair to say, if you're a researcher in the industry, working for Bespoke Partners is a very different and highly strategic job. So the impact there to me it's just been fun to see our researchers embrace that and take a more strategic role in the search. But that also impacts the recruiters too, because when you talk about a 92% hit rate in the membership, recruiters aren't wasting their time talking to people that aren't a fit, right?
That's exactly right. So our disqualifications from, and what I mean by that is the recruiter disqualifying executives that the researcher has added into the membership because before even speaking to them, they've deemed them not a fit, has decreased dramatically. We've really been able to eradicate most of those errors, and the alignment between between the perceived quality of a candidate between a researcher and a recruiter has become close to unrecognizable, which in the past has been a problem and something that we had to tackle.
No, I mean, it's pretty amazing because when you think about time being money, I come back to high quality job experience, impact. Our researchers and recruiters are having a higher impact in the industry because of the technology tool that we've developed that has given them unparalleled access to the right executives and then information about those executives, whether it be revenue size, employee size, industry, roles, outcomes. It's such a cool thing. But now let's talk about the impact on our clients. What are our clients experiencing? Because our researchers are more strategic, our recruiters are spending more time with the bullseye candidates versus filtering out the candidates that aren't a fit. What are our clients seeing?
Well, in terms of our clients, that has really, and I've seen it because I've been a part of those client conversations and I've seen their reactions. They're able to get to that calibrated list of individuals a lot faster than previously because we had to go out to the market. We could not produce a half-baked list of individuals. Now we're having accelerated that entire process has allowed our clients to calibrate it with us a lot easier. The whole process has become a lot easier because it's very unlikely that they're going to see an executive that is not to their liking based on the scorecard that they provided us. So the way that we've been able to use step-ups, AI in terms of the related industries and related segments to what we're searching for has allowed us to sort of cover all of the ground right before the client even asks for it, right? So you'll see a little bit of the adjacent markets, you'll see a little bit of the step-ups, and the index and the way we use it and the whole process, the way it's integrated into our process, allows us to catch all of those little mistakes from the very beginning. And our clients are very happy to see it and definitely want to work with us because they have access to powerful tools such as the index.
Well, it's pretty amazing if you think about it. I mean, look, our days to ID have dropped, our days to close have dropped. The accuracy of the candidates that we're putting in front of the clients as it fits to scorecard has improved. The artistry has also improved when you think about the adjacencies that the index naturally picks up. And so I think about, wow, what used to be really tough searches, and it's like, given a current budget constraint, how am I going to find the right candidate? And the index helps us bring the right executives from a step-up perspective or a geographical perspective that could fill that role at the budgetary requirements or the end markets where there just aren't a lot of proven ends. The index is artificial intelligence where it allows us to find lookalike candidates, brings in folks that just provide this unparalleled creativity. And it was fascinating to me is I've always believed if you have better science as a foundation, the artists show up better. And said another way, if you have all the colors in the color wheel, that painter is going to be able to make a better painting. And that's truly what's showing up with our clients. And I'm so excited about that and just excited you've been able to evangelize that for us. We've talked a lot about the index, which is our internal tool to provide the membership. Tell me a little bit about Calibrator now, which is our external tool where our professionals can work with clients to scorecard real time.
Right, of course. So the Calibrator, the way I look at it, it's really showing the client the universe in a more digestible manner compared to the our internal version of the index, where it all began and the powerful tool that the researchers use day to day. So the Calibrator really allows us to boil down to the main scorecard parameters and sort of taking away all the super niche and detailed ways that a researcher may be searching for a candidate, and allows for the partner and our client to sit down and assess the size of the market for the executive that they're searching for in a very visually appealing way as well, because we're able to show the client the candidate's background, in a very concise form, but is very, very rich in data that the client is looking for. So revenue ranges, private equity information, backers, and how many times, how many years have they been in the role that we're searching for. And then we're also able to very effectively nudge the client in expanding their horizon. So whether that's looking at step-up candidates, or whether that's expanding the revenue range at which we're looking for, where we're trying to find the candidate, because the fact of the matter is that if you use the step-up function in the Calibrator, you might triple or quadruple the results, and what that does on the other end, so on the revenue range end, you're also able to nudge into either direction and see what that does to your results. And that really saves us a lot of trouble with our clients down the line, because we're very quickly able to show them what the size of the market is and what are the different parameters that we can adjust to expand it quite significantly.
Well, you know what's amazing to me about Calibrator, Bruno, having done a number of these scorecards, is we're able to negotiate the scorecard real time. And so when we find out based on the scorecard criteria that the candidate truly is looking for a unicorn, and there are only 25 people on the planet that match that, we can show them the 25 people real time. We can go through that and we can decide, hey, is 25 people enough to solve this search? Or to your point, should we look at step-ups? Should we look at a slightly expanded geo by flight time? Should we flex on revenue range? And then we see, hey, if we flex on these parameters, what does that do to the pool? And we can look at the candidates real time. This isn't hocus pocus of, oh, well, it's this number and that number, but there's no data behind it. This is a very audible trail where it's like, look, we'll show you the 25 executives. And so to me, it's just such a game-changing aspect in how we serve and deliver our clients. And Bruno, I mean, I think back to this little idea we had about indexing the market and the hard work that you, the team you've led, everybody in Bespoke has done to make this come to light. This is disrupting search, and I'm just so happy that you're on the front lines evangelizing this for us. So thanks for joining me today.
Well, thank you so much, Eric, and it's been a real privilege working on this. The index truly is changing search as we know it, and I'm very happy that Bespoke gets to be at the forefront of that.